Hey guys, it's Nikki with Blogspot.com, coming to you all today because I said I needed to do a video, especially now that I'm all settled in my place, got things together, and getting into the flow of my life here in Las Vegas. So today I did want to do a video pretty much on a topic that affects me as a stylist and also as a client. And it's something that really needs to be discussed. So I think what I want to title the video is, we got to do better as stylists, especially, and I hate to say it because I'm one. I am a black stylist, and we really got to do better. Now, fortunately, I am proof that professional black stylists still exist. People that respect your time, is not doing the whole overbooking thing, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of this does not apply to me, but it's things that I've dealt with as a client that I'm sure clients would love to just, open up their mouth and say it if they, really felt that, the need to. So what I want to, pretty much put out in this video is the issues that clients tend to run across dealing with stylists that are not very professional, and some resolutions to those issues, if you will. So as usual, as I always like to give a disclaimer in these type of videos, if you don't like the conversation style video, move on, because this is a conversational video. So anyway, let's get into this. So what is the typical salon visit supposed to be like? In my mind, the typical salon visit is supposed to be somewhere you go to, obviously, besides get your hair done, relax, pamper yourself a little bit, and go on about your day. But unfortunately, the salon experience is not that for most people. Well, I won't say most people. In the typical black salon. And this is because no matter what salon I've been to, and believe you me, I have been in many, whether it was as a client or working there as a stylist, there were some things that just drove me insane. And I could see from the client standpoint why they would be turned off from visiting a salon, especially if this is the norm, because it is so common that these things occur in black salons. And we got to do better. We just got to do better. So let's get into the number one peeve that I know for a fact most people, why they're so apprehensive to booking appointments with salons. Number one is time. And I can't stress this enough, especially with us. You have to respect people's time if you expect them to respect your time. And with that, I mean the lateness. I've had stylists show up 20-30 minutes late to my appointment, and that's one thing if you've notified me that you're running late, but I mean just on GP, late, don't care, didn't apologize, and it's just all bad. So that's not something that I'm fond of. It's not something I do because I respect my client's time. The overbooking, again, this comes down to time management. I get that, what I'm saying, somebody may cancel on you last minute and you trying to get this money. I understand the struggle. I understand that completely. But you have to remember, when you get to the point that you're overbooking people, it's time to do two things. One, take a look at your time management within those services and make sure you're scheduling people properly, because there's no reason that a shortcut is getting scheduled 35 minutes after a sew and weave. Your shortcut should be coming in first, because it ain't gonna take no time to do what you got to do with them before you throw them under the dryer to get started on a braid base, curl them up and have them out the door, and then go ahead and sit down with that weave. It's all about time management, and I understand everybody's not good with time, but that is what it's about. You can't book clients and assume that they don't have anything else to do that day. You can't assume that they don't have anywhere else they need to be. It's unprofessional of you as the stylist. So again, that comes down to also understanding that you can't do that to a client, because that's a lack of respect for their time. On the client's end, no different. You need to respect your stylist's time. Though I understand how frustrating it is to have a stylist that's overbooked all the time and things like that, that's just something they're used to doing, or being late and all of those things like that. It's just something that you as a client shouldn't tolerate, because when you tolerate their tardiness, them being overbooked and not having any regard for your time, keeping you in a salon all day for a service that should have only taken 2.5 hours, and you're sitting in there for 5 and 6 hours, that's not professional on their part. If this service is going to take this long, or you're booked to the point that it's going to be hell and high water to squeeze me in, and I'm better off coming in on another day that you're not really that booked, I'd rather do that than sit in this salon with half my weave taken out, and you just got me sitting here looking crazy on hold up for 2 hours before you can even get to me. So that's just something, for the client. Stop tolerating people that aren't respecting your time, and find you a stylist that does. I'd much rather have a stylist that's all right with hair, and because we can always talk about what can get tweaked, but my time, baby, I am a stickler about my time. So the second thing I want to talk about is the overall professionalism in black salons, typically. And this kind of flows over into a lot of black establishments. Don't get me wrong, I have been in some black salons and black, owned establishments where the service is perfectly fine, comparable to the best. No, that's just what it is. But typical professionalism is something that everybody can stand and work on. But in, the salon environment, again, number one is the time. Secondly is assessing your clients. Make sure that you're able to provide what it is that that client needs, and don't be so greedy that you're trying to oversell yourself to do something that you don't specialize in, or that you can't do. I remember one time I asked this stylist if they were good with, a natural looking weave, in which they said they could. So I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to get my hair done. Okay. And I remember getting out of the chair and looking, and let me tell you something I don't like. Do not turn me away from the mirror when you're doing my hair. Okay. They teach you in school, keep your client facing the mirror so that they can see what you're doing. Because I don't want to turn around and, I've told you I don't like bangs, and all of a sudden I got bangs. You know what I'm saying? It's just, don't do that. But either way, I did not like my weave at all. Okay. There was no amount of tweaking that could have been done at that point to fix it. You got a track. She didn't know where to, actually lay the tracks. So I spent, a few minutes of my day every day having to adjust my hair to make sure that those tracks were covered. And that's just something I shouldn't have had to do, So again, don't oversell yourself trying to collect money. I mean, I'm ethical on the point that if it's not something I do, I try to make friends and get to know people that do different things, so that the least I can do, if I don't do it, is refer you to someone who can. And this overall professionalism spills over into kind of the third, I guess we'll call it number 2, part B. This professionalism flows over to kitchen stylists as well. Now, for those who don't know, they consider people who are not licensed kitchen stylists, or they consider people that work from home kitchen stylists. But generally, there are a lot of kitchen stylists that have licenses. They're just not in a salon. It is what it is. So when I refer to kitchen stylists, please do not be offended, because there's a lot of kitchen stylists out there that can lay some hair. But your professionalism needs work. So let's get into that. I understand you are at home trying to make a little coin and get your shit together so that you can pay some bills, whatever the case may be, or it's just your extra money on the side, but you still have to have some professionalism about you, even working from home. Okay? And there's just things that you should just know to do. as a stylist. So, you know, I'm more quick to trust a kitchen stylist with a license because there's some things that they understand about, you know, sanitation and things like that that I know. But I also know a lot of them don't follow it. But I want to get more on an even more basic level of the professionalism of the kitchen stylist. Even though you're working at home, there still needs to be a level of professionalism to you. You already got a strike against you in a sense because you're working from home. So it's your duty at that point to show them that I don't have to be inside of a salon to give you an excellent hairstyle or give you excellent service as a stylist, you know, to client. And by that, I mean this. If you know that you have a 9:30 appointment, okay, there's no reason that that client is showing up to your home at 9:30 and you're not at least within 15 minutes of being done with whomever else you may be doing that day. But let's say that's the first appointment of the day, which tends to be the case most times with the kitchen stylist. There's no reason that I have a 9:30 appointment and I arrive at 9:25, 9:30, and you're not ready to go. Again, I get it. I'm not at a salon, but that does not mean that I don't have anywhere to be and I don't have anywhere to go. You know, I've been places where, you know, they got the kids running around and got to turn around and cook for the kids. They ain't ate nothing, so they trying to eat. It's like, come on. You knew you had a 9:30. You should have been up no later than 7:30, 8 o'clock to make sure that you were up, you brushed your teeth, you washed your butt, you ate you some breakfast. If you got kids, they should have been up. You should have had them up by 8:30 so that you could have gave them a little, you know, wash their little butts and give them something to eat. So that way, by the time I sit in that chair, they done picked out 2 movies they want to watch and we can get this done and I can get out your house. You know, I don't want to be at your house all day. You know, but you have some people, and I mean, I've had people tell me about their experiences with home stylists. You know, oh, the kids are bad, or the kids are climbing all over them, and you know, they got to stop and feed and do this and do that. It's just, again, it's already a strike against you because you're working from home. So don't do the things that you know are just, come on, you wouldn't want it to happen to you. That's just what it is. I've had people say that they've left stylists that they like because their professionalism game wasn't on point at home. They weren't in control of their children or whatever. Just people don't want to have their time wasted. And again, it boils down to the biggest part of that being time. So the last thing I want to address is pricing, in which I had to learn, not necessarily the hard way, but I had to learn that people will pay you what you think you're worth. I'm not a fan of overcharging because I don't think there's a reason for me to overcharge people, but I'm not going to lowball myself. So like example, I'm sure people post ads on Craigslist and other places to try to, you know, get clients to come to them. I'm not doing nobody's weave for less than $100. And that's cheap. You know, truth be told, that's cheap. But you're paying for my expertise. You're paying for the fact that I went through school and know what I can and cannot do to your specific hair. You know, your texture or what's going on with your scalp. I know certain things that, okay, if that's going on with you, honey, I can't perform this service on you because this, that, and the third. And I don't want you walking around with something on your head and my name is attached to it. So it's just things that you're paying for when you pay full price or prices of someone who has a license. I'm not doing nobody's weave for $50. I'm just not. You know, and this goes back to building a better clientele. You know, when we talk about building a better clientele, what do I mean by that? I don't mean get stuck up people that only want to pay, you know, $300 for their haircut. I don't mean it in that way. I mean build a better clientele in the sense of that ties into all of those things about the overbooking or the need to feel like you need to overbook, the tardiness or the not respecting of time. Build a better clientele, and there's some things that you're just not going to have to do as a stylist and as a client as well. You know, when I say that, I mean, I'm trying to make sure I have the right, kind of example in building a better clientele. Example, okay. No show fees. Say you have a 24-hour policy that says if you need to reschedule or cancel your appointment, I require a 24-hour notice so that, one, I can book somebody else that may be on a wait list for that day that want to get their hair done that day. Or, hey, I can go on about my day and do things that I want to do and I'm not sitting here waiting on you. Or the no show. You have two ways you can go about no shows. You can say there's a fee to rebook no shows off the riff, or just don't book no shows, because if they've stood you up once, they'll certainly stand you up again. And that's the rule I go by. No shows right now, because I'm building clientele, you're subject to a $25 fee if you want to be rescheduled with me. I refuse to let someone disrespect my time as if that is not how I pay my bills at this point. And they have to respect that. So if you have someone that is offended at the idea that if they don't give you proper notification that they're not going to show up to their appointment, that they should be charged. It's like, you do know this is how I get paid, right? This is how I pay my bills. So when you don't show up, that means I didn't make money, but I could have put someone else in that spot to compensate that. So you gotta find people that respect your time. You can't just do what you want to do. That's one way. Myself also, I do Style Seat. And I like Style Seat because, number one, you got to have an account to book with me. And because I will post ads for certain services, I do bundle deals with install, I do all kind of stuff. People can call me, that's fine to call me, but I refer them and I inform them at that point that I only book via Style Seat. I don't do the handwritten, let me write down this date and this time. And I'm going to tell you why I don't. Because, again, I'm trying to build a better clientele. Number one, Style Seat allows me to track my appointments without having to clog my phone up with, appointments. And that's fine. But it also can gauge how serious someone is about getting an appointment with me. And y'all might laugh at me for that, but thus far it has not failed me. If they don't have a Style Seat account, they're not going to go through the hassle of creating one to request an appointment be booked with me. So far, I want to say the majority of people that I've done their hair so far since I've been in Vegas, their hair or their makeup, only one of them had a Style Seat account. Everybody else had to create one, send me a message, and at that point I booked them. So they also get, and I do like Style Seat because they also get a 48-hour text message or email that reminds them that they have an appointment. And I, on GP, send them a text message the day prior to at around 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and tell them to confirm with that text message that they will be arriving tomorrow. And I say that because most people know way before their appointment hits, before the appointment time hits, that they will not be showing up on time if they need to reschedule or if they need to cancel. You can't, there's only, this is the chance that something came up the moment you were about to walk out the door and go get your hair done. It just doesn't work that way. Most of the time, you knew good and hell well the day prior to, or probably sooner, that you were not coming to your hair appointment. So again, back to building a better clientele. Because when clients realize that you're serious about your craft, you're serious about this is how I pay my bills, and I need you to respect my time, no different than I will respect your time, it's got to be mutual. Clients, stop putting up with that shit. Stylists, stop dishing that shit. It's just some things you cannot be doing. And then getting mad when nobody wants to come to the salon. Again, I'm fortunate because my clients, I hear it all the time. You're so professional. I love that you're on time. You got my stuff laid out. People that come to my home to get their hair done, they're like, it's so clean. Yeah, I've been to somebody's house and their toilet wasn't working. Mind you, I was getting something that was going to be taking some time. I wasn't in there for 45 minutes, an hour or so. Toilet wasn't working. House was a mess. I literally had to say, you know what? God text me, I gotta go. It's just like, are you serious? You really got people in your house knowing that it looked like this? And your toilet don't work? Wow. But this is stuff that happens. So thank you for watching. I know this was a lengthy video, but this was very conversation style, and I just wanted to get it off my chest and put it out there that we got to do better as stylists, as clients. You know, this is primarily for the stylists, because when you start taking yourself and your craft seriously, your clients will follow. Again, you will build a better clientele. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.